Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern. The chair recognizes Madam Secretary, who will now proceed with roll call.
We are at quorum.
Okay, I move to call for an adoption of the agenda for any last minute agenda items. All in favor say aye.
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 Are there any agenda items that anyone would like to bring to the table? Okay, I move that the minutes from the previous meeting as approved as electronically distributed. All in favor say aye, all not in favor say nay.
Aye.
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 The meeting minutes have been approved as electronically distributed. I move that we proceed to an open forum. Is there anything that anybody would like to discuss at this time? Okay, I move that we proceed to the executive board reports. The chair recognizes Mr. President.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. So quick kind of updates here. In March 8th, the beginning of the month, I met with Dr. Adams to discuss some post-election items, transition of administration, the We Are packet that we have, the World Campus newsletter subscriptions, and some suggestions, questions, and concerns about those, some Capitol Day planning, and the legislation that we passed asynchronously. March 15th, I attended a meeting with the Board of Trustees Committee on Academic Affairs, Research, and Student Life. We discussed priorities for the committee and some future agenda topics. We also discussed I also attended the World Campus Student Advisory Board meeting and provided a student government report to their board. March 16th, we held our executive board meeting. We discussed the agenda for this meeting and onboarding of new officers and committee chairs. Last Friday, I attended CCSG's March Council and provided a World Campus Student Government Association report to their council. I also stayed for the election of their new campus chair. This position is similar to our Speaker of the Assembly. Saturday, I also attended CCSG's presidential and vice presidential debates and election. There were a lot of good candidates for those roles, and it was great to hear what they had to say, the ideas that they were bringing to the table as new and some returning student leaders. Congratulations to Akash Virangama and Hiba Akbar for their successful re-election or election, but they're swapping roles. UPUA's election will be in about a week here, so I'm interested to see how that turns out. Really excited to meet with the new and returning student leaders before my term is up to continue to build those relationships between our associations so that all the administrations have some future success moving forward. The past month consisted of a lot of emails and correspondence and phone calls. This will continue through the month of April as we transition from the second assembly to the third assembly of the World Campus Student Government Association. Much of my time has been allocated to wrapping up a lot of transitional documentation so that we can start the next group of student leaders out on the right foot. Some coming up meetings that we have. Tomorrow, John and I have a meeting to discuss the 2018 Sexual Misconduct Survey results prepared by the Student Affairs Research and Assessment Office. Thursday, I will be attending the Student Leaders Roundtable. I will also be meeting with some local legislators regarding university appropriations as part of the Capitol Day events. Next week, Jonna and I have a meeting with the Student Affairs leadership to discuss any items that need to be brought to their attention. We have some items from Student Affairs, but if you all have anything else that is geared towards the Student Affairs initiatives, please share and we can advocate that. And then the beginning of April, I've been asked to by the university leadership to serve on the Next Gen Penn State Advisory Group that's tasked with advising the Board of Trustees on the selection of the next president of the university. So that's a really exciting opportunity. And quick report, but that's all I have for right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Madam Vice President.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Been working on the We Are packet, doing basically whatever Sean tells me to do, going to meetings Sean tells me to go to, and yeah, trying to make Penn State a better place. I'll probably just be working a lot with Ariel in the next month or so, making sure that I transition things that I've wanted to do since my time was shorter. So, yep, making sure we have talks in places that they need to be, making sure that World Campus has a spot in various places like Thon and Homecoming and yeah, all that good stuff. So if there's anything And pertaining to that, feel free to hit me up, or if you have a good joke, I like those too. All right, bye.
Thank you. I have nothing to report. The chair recognizes Madam Secretary.
I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Mr. Treasurer.
He's absent.
He's absent. At this time, I move that we proceed to our committee reports. The chair recognizes Madam Academic Affairs Chair. Absent.
I too have nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay. The chair recognizes Academic Affairs Chair.
Hi, everybody. This is Jay, Government Affairs. I do have just one brief update. With the March 25th Capitol Day approaching, I have been in contact with Abby Hahn from Lion Caucus, and they're still pushing for anything we can do to help get the word out and to help with potentially getting World Campus students involved in Capitol Day. Anything we can do to really push, because of the main one of the main activities is going to be an email campaign, and they're looking for broad participation, and they'd like to have more of a turnout than what they had last year. And I also was able to meet with Mike Dawson this week. He actually works for news and PR for Penn State, and whatever we can do to help with Capitol Day and whatever we get involved in, he would love to write about our student government and how we're helping to push along those events, and anything that we can do to kind of join in those activities. He would love to write about that. So I just would like to be able to connect with you guys, as well as our marketing, and anything we can do to continue to kind of to press that and get the word out, and hopefully to get a little bit of PR behind that as well, I think would be great. So I just wanted to kind of update the group on that.
Jay,
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
there's a question in the chat from Jennifer about what is Capitol Day?
Okay, so let me take a step back, and I'll try to give a little bit of information and background on Capitol Day. So Capitol Day is an event that is hosted by, I believe it is Advocate Penn State, and it is a day where it is dedicated to communicating with the legislature that supports Penn State, supports the university, and helps to bring the university and our elected officials together. There are 4 approaches this year to executing this day, because we have to do it virtually because of the COVID situation. So there's going to be an email campaign where the request and the ask is for our student body to craft emails, send these to our legislature, to our representatives, to continue to press them to support the university, to help pass laws that support Penn State, to help with continued funding and things of that nature. So whatever we can do to write emails in support of the university, that is one aspect of what the ask is for Capitol Day. The second push is for folks to record a brief video. And this video is similar to the email campaign, but if you want to be able to do this in more of a video format, to record your encouragement of our legislature to continue to support the university, talk a little bit about what we would like to see in terms of what our elected officials can do for Penn State. And we will submit those videos, and a select few will actually be reviewed with, I believe, some of the legislation body. The third push is really around social media. And I believe Advocate Penn State is going to launch a really major social media campaign of spreading the word and putting the word out. And during the 25th, which is Thursday, logging in and joining in on Facebook and other Twitter and other accounts will actually allow you to see the progress that's being made and to kind of keep track of what's happening, how we are advancing the agenda and what's happening during the day. So that's another avenue which they're trying to really push. And then the fourth approach is setting up virtual meetings, which I don't have a lot of information about that, but I do know that they're trying to establish specific meetings with certain elected officials that they will host virtually. I don't know the audience, but that is one of the additional components that they're trying to push this year. And the ask of us from a World Campus standpoint is to try to get the word out to World Campus students to log into the social media, click into Advocate Penn State, go on to Facebook, follow what's happening there, join in, send emails, and just do whatever we can to help support the university. And I hope that helps to better understand what Capitol Day is all about.
It does. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain that. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Student Affairs Chair.
Hi, everyone. I only have a few updates. On March 3rd at 8 a.m., we had a meeting for the Night of Remembrance planning. In attendance was myself and Christy Parker, along with the CCSG and UPUA reps on the planning committee. On March 4th, I had a collaborative meeting with Jennifer for the Academic Affairs Committee in order to work on some ideas for collaboration areas between our committees. On March 20th, we had a Student Affairs Committee meeting. We discussed the Night of Remembrance planning as it pertains to World Campus participating in the future, as well as we touched base on the initial stages of planning a World Campus virtual mixer and social event. Some topics that we covered were the logistics of holding a mixer, what type of icebreakers and games we can utilize, particularly if we had a large attendance, how to invite students to the event, the importance of selecting a regular date and time to hold the event so people would anticipate it, and providing incentives such as gift cards or prizes for the event in order to encourage participation. One subject that came up was the inability to purchase giveaways with club money for my own personal club events. And I wanted to verify with Dr. Adams if this also applied to SGA funds and events. And Sean let me know that Kyle probably knows, so I sent an email to Kyle as well. You probably have that in your email box. If there is an issue with that, we need to find a way that we could potentially work around that requirement. See if the Student Affairs Department could potentially donate any water bottles or t-shirts, any kind of swag, or anybody at the, see if we can get the university to donate stuff. Tomorrow, March 24th, we have a Night of Remembrance planning meeting for 8 a.m. And Saturday, April 3rd will be the first website planning and training session. If anyone's interested in attending, please email me. I'll send you the information for that. We'll be taking ideas for the website contents, delegating who will be officially handling the website administration, and going over the basics of customizing the WordPress instance and the technical logistics of that. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Technology Chair.
Hi, everyone. I have just a short report. On the 18th, last Thursday, I sat into the Canvas Advisory Group meeting. They talked about summer courses on Canvas and how there's a 2-day delay when they get scheduled. They gave updates on the box migration and also on the Kaltura Zoom migration. They also gave a list of new tools that they are looking to integrate into Canvas, including Adobe and like 10 others. And then they also talked about how they're moving forward with negotiations for the proctoring tool, Examity. I just had a meeting with my tech committee just now, and we were just discussing ways that perhaps there could be better communication channels open to World Campus students so that we could reach out to one another. And, you know, the student center is good, but it only has a very, very small group of people in it. And there's no good way to reach all students in World Campus. So, and that's it.
Thank you. I move that we proceed to our advisors report. The chair recognizes Dr. Adam.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here with you this evening. I have a pretty robust report. I'd like to start, if you'll indulge me, with a moment of silence for members of our Asian community and shoppers and onlookers in Denver who were brutally murdered and killed over the last several days. So if you feel comfortable, you're welcome to join me in this moment of silence. Honoring individual dignity and identity is really important to our work in student affairs, and I've been saddened to see what's going on in this country in particular as it relates to hate and racism and sexism and violence, and it impacts all of our lives and all of our work. And it's important that we take opportunities to acknowledge that in your advocacy as students. I'm so thrilled to hear about the work that you're doing in the day of remembrance. And I think it's important that we remember that life is being lost when we don't address these issues of violence head on. So thank you for the space to do that. As Sean mentioned, I've been working with him closely on his transition plan. There's a lot to transition as he is the inaugural president of the World Campus Student Government Association, and many of you are inaugural members. So thank you so much for your patience and support with my office as we work to support the continuity of the work that you all have been doing. I wanted to share with you that my office has hired a new career counselor. If you'll remember, Karen Armstrong, who was formerly with my office, left the position and went on to a new position at the university. And so that position has been unfilled for about 6 weeks, but I'm excited to share that Matt Soroka will join World Campus Student Affairs next week on Monday as a new World Campus career counselor. He joins us from the Smeal College of Business, where he's been serving as a career counselor for the last 7 years. So he has a wealth of experience in career development, and I'm excited to have him join our team. He currently resides in Palo Alto, California, and he will stay there. This is giving us a great opportunity to invite more remote working positions into my unit, as well as an opportunity to extend our career counselor hours to have more evening hours for students on this side of the country and that side of the country as well. So I'm really excited about that, and I will be inviting him to the April student government meeting to meet you all as well. If he is available, I will invite him to attend. I've been working closely with marketing partners to update them on the work that you all have been interested in doing in sharing your work with new students. So I have an update about that. I just met with our marketing partners this morning, and they're excited to be able to partner with you all on some type of physical property that we can give to new students. After reviewing the ways in which we currently send things to new students, we feel that the current welcome package that gets sent out would not be the best way, the best way to send what you all are considering, primarily because that goes to students who have been invited to, have been accepted into the university, but who have not necessarily accepted their offer of admission. So they've been offered admission to the institution, but they haven't accepted their offer for admission. So after talking to the director of admissions at the World Campus, and talking with Sean as well, I am understanding that you all really want to talk to not prospective students, but you really want to talk to current students, students who have accepted their offer for admission and are, planning to attend the university. And moreover, because there's also some melt between students who, accept their offer for admission and actually start at the university in their first semester, we probably want to push that communication back to students, for, maybe after they're a couple weeks into the first full semester at the institution. So that's what I'm going to recommend to you all. I'd be happy to entertain a conversation around that, but that is my recommendation, that it shift to after they've started the first semester. They don't have to necessarily complete it, but just pushed into the first semester so that you're really capturing students who are actually attending the institution. And the marketing partners, Sydney and Lee, but Sydney most specifically, is eager to connect with the students of the Student Government Association who are, working on the concepts for this physical mailer piece. So she's excited to meet with you all. So if someone in the chat could just identify who those folks are, then I will have Mary work to set up a meeting with Sydney so that you all can be in communication. She's eager to know who you are and to talk to you about what you're thinking for that piece. The marketing and graphic design teams at the World Campus will develop them for you, and then you all will partner to find a vendor who can print and send them to students who are in that first semester if we do plan to move that forward that way. So those are my recommendations for that. And again, I'm happy to entertain conversations and questions about that. Next week, I'll be meeting with new members of the World Campus Student Government Association on Monday and Tuesday. I have meetings scheduled with all new exec board members and committee chairs. I'll be meeting with them on Monday and Tuesday next week, and I'm excited to invite them into this important committee. I wanted to share with you an update that the federal government and the Senate did approve a Recovery Act that will release funding to Penn State University for support and additional funding for students who have been impacted by COVID-19. So if you are a student who was registered and taking classes either part-time or full-time in spring 2020 as of March 13th, 2020, you may be eligible for funding. You'll see communication about this in the coming days in the Penn State Today. Also, if you're eligible, you'll see a note about this in Lion Path. So you'll want to follow the directions in the Penn State Today news article and in Lion Path to know if you're eligible for that funding. If you are eligible, you would be able to, have that funding direct deposit into your checking or savings account. You can choose, you can select an amount of an award. You can accept the full award or you can decline the award. It is grant based in aid, so it is it's not expected to be repaid, but there is an expectation that it be used for COVID-19 related expenses. So for example, if you usually went to the library and now you had to buy a laptop because you couldn't go to the library anymore because of COVID restrictions, it could be used for that. If you had to increase childcare because your children used to go to daycare, now they can't go because the daycare is closed and you have to watch them or something, you have to reduce your work hours, et cetera, it can be used for that. So all of that will be explained in the communication, but I'd be happy to entertain questions about that as well. And then I'd love to hear more about the proposed better communication channels from the technology committee. You're right, the World Campus Student Center does limit us to about 1,000 students in that space. And we've explored other technologies to expand the opportunities for students to connect and engage in a virtual space. but we've not advanced on that because we haven't seen a high level of engagement even in the student center. So we haven't felt the need to invest in a significant piece of technology that would do that for more students when the limited students that we have in there aren't engaging at as high of a level as we would expect. We've found that it's been our experience that students prefer to engage in clubs and organizations and committee work in smaller groups than in sort of widespread, like 20,000 students in a portal. But I'd be interested in your feedback and perceptions about that. And I'd be eager to entertain a proposal from the student government to invite student affairs to do some procurement of technologies that would allow all students to be in a portal. So I look forward to hearing more about that from the technology committee, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adams. I move that we proceed to our liaison report. The chair recognizes Justin.
Hello, thank you, Chair. Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Sacchi. I'm the CCG Executive Liaison. Last weekend, the CCG held our, or the Council of Commonwealth Student Governments, held our March Council, in which we met to discuss issues facing the Commonwealth and how we better need to equip our students to handle them. In addition to this, we passed 5 pieces of legislation. Highlights from them include in support of expanded use of open educational resources, and another would be in support of a centralized web page for Commonwealth housing and food security resources. In addition to this, we held both our campus chair and president and vice president elections, and I'm happy to announce that with astounding votes, Bhargava Mutrapali was elected as our campus chair for the next term. In addition to this, Hiba Akbar and Akash Viramgama were reelected into their roles. However, as Sean mentioned before, they swapped. So our president for the next term will be Akash Viramgama and our vice president will be Hiba Akbar. Thank you guys so much. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. I move that we proceed to new business. The chair recognizes Mr. President.
Oh, we missed the World Campus Student Advisory Report. I'll yield the floor to Maria.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Not a whole lot tonight. The Student Advisory Board Outreach and Relations are currently working with the trainings, professional development trainings that we are currently channeling with the Julie, and this is regarding the, how do you call that, diversity and inclusion. The theme for that is actually diversity and inclusion that we are all so passionate about. And I already secured a trainer that is willing to come over to meet Penn State leaders. Her platform is about empowering women, and I really would like to have that platform be part of the Penn State leaders trainings. That way we can, channel, we can network with one another and network with other women's in other industry. So that's all we have so far. That concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you. Okay, I move that we proceed to new business, Mr. President.
All right, so I wanted just to announce our election results formally in this platform. So as you can see here on this website that came out of the newsletter, which Dr. Adams, if you could reach out to Sydney and have them update the main website as well. It still has all the candidate website on information on it.
Yes, but, I'm happy to reach out. Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So Mona Hill has been elected as president. So if you see her around, congratulate her. We will be inviting all of these individuals to our slew of meetings over the next month to get them up to speed on what we're doing. Ariel, our current speaker, has been elected vice president. Congratulations. Sabrina Smith has been elected as our next secretary. Kyle Harmon has been reelected to treasurer. Denise Kowinki has been elected as Speaker of the Assembly. Jennifer Gomez has been reelected to serve as Academic Affairs Committee Chair. Emily Bourne has been elected a newcomer for Governmental Affairs Committee Chair. Corinne Coffey has been a Marketing and Communications Committee member and has now been elected as the chair. Rachel will be returning as our Student Affairs Committee chair, and Carmina will be returning as our Technology Committee chair. So congratulations to all of you. Welcome aboard, and I'm great to see some returning faces. So I'm excited to see what you all will do, and you'll be hearing more from us as we try to get you the information you need to get rolling next year. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Madam Vice President.
Hey there. Are we going over the packet and the breakdown? Is that the go-to at the moment? Am I frozen? Am I not? Can
You're
anyone
good.
hear me?
Continue.
You're good.
I didn't hear many conversation. Okay, so I think for the We Are packet, what we're looking at is about 8 to 10 pages. A page of a welcome message from the student body president. 2 to 4 pages of PSU traditions. Rachel, can you get with Lydia on the photography for that and see if that's happening? Because if not,
Yes.
we have Zetas that could probably do it.
Okay.
5 to 6 of extracurriculars. I'm going to reach out to all the extracurriculars so they can have their own blurb for that section. Page 7 on information about our student center and how to join. And then for page 8, I was thinking about like a directory-ish of where they can find certain things they need. So if anybody has more suggestions, if that covers the basis of everything, that's what I'm rolling with at the moment. Yeah, that's that.
Madam Chair, may I be recognized to speak?
Yes.
Thank you. Jonah, if you could, because I'm seeing a couple people want to be a part of the conversation with the marketing partners. So if you could either put it in the chat, just like name and email, but just in one message so I don't have to sort through, or you can just email it to me offline. I just want to make sure that I get that out to her and my admin this week so that we can work to get the meeting scheduled. Thank you.
Sounds good. I can do that.
On that question, Dr. Adams, do you know roughly what the numbers we would be looking at for like new students per semester that accept their enrollment into the university, just for a ballpark idea?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really depends on at what point, right, you send it, right? So this is again why I'm kind of recommending that you wait and send it to students who actually accept their offer of admission and start in the semester, because we admit, 5,000 students, or we offer probably 5,500 students, right? And we probably admit 4,000, right? And so there's a little bit of melt, right? But I don't think I didn't previously realize that this was going to be like an 8-page document. I'm thinking high gloss, binded. That's going to be pretty expensive for 4,000 students. And I'm assuming you want this to be something that's sustainable, right? Like it not just goes out one semester. We admit that many students every semester. So it's 3 times a year. That's 12,000 students, so I'm just thinking the costs in my mind are kind of adding up pretty quickly. So yeah, does that answer your question?
It does, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I move that we proceed to old business. The chair recognizes Mr. President.
Hi again, everybody. Okay, so as we asynchronously passed this piece of legislation, there were some recommended edits in there to make it a little more vague and open-ended for others, to kind of encompass a level of leniency that we would need while incorporating a suggestion that we thought would be most important to help with this. So you've all seen this before. This is just showing that this has been approved. Here are the results from the election. It was 13 approve, 1 reject, and 1 abstain. So it did pass. And Dr. Adams, I will be sending that off to you for your advocacy. We are also collecting, or I have been collecting over the past few weeks, some stories and some feedback from students and been anonymizing it to provide that feedback. I did advocate this to Provost Jones, who was unaware that this was a concern. He said that he has met, multiple times a week with Dr. Renata Engel, the vice provost, and that she hasn't been really aware that there was an issue of this either. So I'm going to forward this along to them as well, and our packet of information and stories to kind of show that supporting documentation from the student body that this is impacting students from all different majors, all different departments and programs. And hopefully we can help to kind of alleviate some of the stressors that are coming from this, from the pandemic and this change in course, what would you say, like the overwhelming amount of coursework?
Yeah, thank you for that, Sean. I look forward to receiving it from you. I'll advance it to the associate vice president and the vice president as well. Also share it with the director of learning design, and there's several directors in a unit called program planning and management, which manage the relationship between the World Campus and our academic partners like the colleges. So I'll share it with them as well. And we meet monthly. So after sharing it in the subsequent meeting, so I guess the April meeting, I'll ask for an update, and then I'll share it in the, I'll share that update in my April report.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. And then as I get updates as well from the avenues of advocacy that we take, I will share that with you, Dr. Adams, and with the Assembly. Are there any questions regarding this? All right, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you. Any final comments for the good of the order? Okay, with that, I move that we adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
I second that.
Okay, the meeting as a World Campus Student Government Association is adjourned at 8:38 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Everyone.